Well, it's basically taking athletes to the most stunning route on the planet. Mostly a mountain road that crosses the whole island from Bastia to Bastia. Well, it's a 700 kilometers loop that you have to complete within 120 hours. We're talking about 13,000 meters of elevation gain. It's basically climbing all the time. So yeah, that's the adventure. They're arriving from Nice. Either you get the ferry, so you get a 5-hour boat, or a 2 hours flight, and you're on the island from Nice, straight.
Finishing, stick to your plan. Finishing well, stick to your plan the first 350k, and after that you go all in. C, I'd say same as B, but a bit more aggressive. Because if you go too hard the first 350, you might blow up.
Until you go and do something like this, there's always that little element of, can I? You know, it's out of your comfort zone, it's out of your realm of what you've done before. I feel like it's where I belong. And I've done a lot of cycling in a very short period of time, and I've ticked off all the sort of big rides that you can go and do in the traditional cycling sense. And as much as there was a great sense of achievement, I never really felt like I belonged in that world. And coming into this world, I really feel like there's a sense of belonging. And it's what I want to be doing. And I think the journey will continue, and it will always continue, because life is about the journey. It's not about the final destination. And a ride is about the journey.
For me, I think the difference I see with him is his mental attitude. And when he believes he can do something, it's not just a belief, it's a sense of a determination.
Also, I think it's definitely a mental game. Because I think the hardest thing to do is it's not so much mental from dealing with the long days, but it's around being able to stay on your strategy when you get really, really tired. You know, it's really easy to go off too quick, to ride too hard, and then lose it later on. But it takes a lot of mental strength to ride to a steady pace right at the beginning.
Just to fly into a place which just looks so undulating and it just looks so friendly, you know, like, and beaches, the roads look nice, but you know, they look a good size, that there wasn't really much traffic. It looks like it's going to be a pretty cool place to ride.
I'm going to be really interested to see what happens at the front. Who's going to go off fast and be able to hold it? And obviously I've been doing a lot of research into everybody, because the article for the guys just outlining the favourites. There are clearly people like Omar are going to be able to ride fast and keep that going all the way through. There'll be others who start fast and fade because they've just got too quick, and then there'll be others who start slow but then kind of come through the field late on. And I'm just going to be really interested to watch it and see what happens. Can't wait. It's going to be great racing.
What scares me is more like my strategy, because I think I might blow up after 350, but if I don't try, I won't know.
Fitness is a prerequisite that's taken for granted, but there are so many things beyond fitness. Like you said, logistics, weather conditions, dealing with the hills, one hill over the other, and that's just the mental fatigue and the mental attitude of having to overcome one hill after the other, knowing it's not ending anytime soon. It's all about managing yourself. Distance really strips you bare and really distills you to your own essence, and you know yourself much better. You know yourself, and afterwards you deal with problems, from a different perspective. And it's not about competition. It's all, the atmosphere of the BikingMan and the extreme triathlons I've done. Smaller field. All the athletes are first, they are more humble, because they know that they are not greater than the course or the conditions, and we all seem to be cooperating to overcome these conditions, just competing against the conditions rather than against each other.
You just get into a zone of just being able to do other stuff, but it is really good for you mentally to be out on the bike. particularly when you're in an environment like this. It's just you get lost in the environment and the smells and what you're looking at and stuff.
To be honest, I know the champions are on a different level, totally in a different mindset, different strategy and everything. But being around them, asking them questions, seeing how they do their things, that's for me is a target achieved. For me, is a target achieved. So my main target is actually to cross the finish line with maximum experience and knowledge I could gain from Corsica.
Once I landed to Corsica while I was on the plane and I saw how huge the mountains are and how big Corsica is, I'm like, wow, this is really a big challenge. I think like any race, you need to prepare for it, you need to train for it, you need to make sure that it is not only going out there and physically pedaling, it's more of how can you pace out your energy throughout this 5 days and just make it happen, you know? Just to see how much your body capacity can go for every upcoming challenge.
Well, I can basically do what I can do, and if it means I'm ahead of a load of people, that's great. If it means they beat me, then fair play.
Well, I don't plan to sleep, but I just think, you know, realistically in endurance cycling, the key is style over practicality. So if you look good, you're going to win.
I feel brilliant. I had a really good sleep last night, really good food, up this morning fresh, good breakfast, and yeah, that really nice mix of nerves and excitement. And I think for me it's always just about an energy, and it's channeling that energy, focusing it for the good, and I'm just ready to get going now.
Yeah, very good. I'm so excited. Since yesterday I just want to start, and so finally it's happening.
Well, number one puts the pressure, but it's unrealistic with my weight and and experience. But yeah, it is different than starting a triathlon. You don't need to account for the swim or later the run. You don't need to really pace yourself on the bike other than maintaining your energy and being efficient. So you're not worried about suffering on the run afterwards, or having to just clear salt water from the swim, or yeah. So it's a different take on it. And usually on the triathlon, the bike is the most I enjoy. So it's just a treat for me today.
It's really annoying on the run-up because you've got like 2 days of just being nervous and anticipating, and then you start and it's like everyone's together and it's just awesome. So 2 days, maybe 3 days of fun.
At the race start we had all kind of athletes, from the triathlete people to an actual previous golf pro. So it was coming from a very wide range of athletes, and that's the very interesting part of the BikingMan Corsica. It's a race for everyone searching for adventure and endurance, and searching for one of the most stunning areas on the planet to cycle on. Well, I would say that the most athletes are joining these kind of races because they are searching just to race against themselves and try to prove that they are capable of doing something special. And basically normal people doing crazy stuff, and they're just proving this by achieving this goal of completing the race, just arriving at the finish. So it's not a race against another guy, it's a race against yourself.
The experience itself, self-supported ride was in itself a life-changing experience. It was character building, to say the least. You know a bit more about yourself that you didn't know before. You tend to to have to self-manage all the way, especially with not sleeping and having to deal with your energy, your food, especially with the passing through wilderness that you have nothing, no food stations, nothing. So you have to be self-supported, or you have to go hungry or without energy until you find some way to gather that energy. At so many dark moments that you feel like, you know, why am I doing this? And then you look around you and see that scenery, and just you breathe in the energy from it, and just it gives you the energy. It gives you energy to climb more, to discover more what's over the next hill, what's coming. And it's just surprise after surprise, seeing the wilderness. And you pass through stunning wilderness, stunning scenery. An overdose of green and oxygen, which is what you need to finish.
I don't think you can do one of these without it changing you. Each one will change you in a different way, just because you push yourself to, or you discover new things about yourself each time. It's not just about being the strongest, it's about being the smartest, it's about being the most efficient, it's about making the right decisions. It's about getting a number of different factors into the right place, and they're things that I think everybody can have and can develop. You don't need to be the strongest rider in the world. You don't need to be the best navigator in the world. You don't need to be the smartest nutritionist in the world. You need to just be guided to get the right elements in place and to have that open mind to what you can achieve. But people have come here and really demonstrated that with the right preparation and the right commitment and the right attitude, anything is possible. You've come out of this and you can see it in your eye. You can see the glint in your eye that says, I've really found my passion in cycling.
Everyone goes through these races and sees it as like such a big challenge, which it is. It's a a really tough challenge, but when you sign up for them, you do them because you want to do them, and that's something you just can never forget. And this probably sounds a little bit cliche, but I wake up every morning thinking, I'm really lucky that I get to wake up every morning. Life's very short. I haven't had a special moment in life which just made me think like that. I've just always kind of grown up thinking you're so lucky to even be able to ride a bike, that you get to ride a bike in these beautiful places. And I just think, when you go on these races, you have to love it. If you don't love it, then what are you doing there? I just savour every minute, because I've done a few trips now and I just realise that they go so quickly and they're so easy to forget, that if you don't enjoy them while you're there, then, there's a problem. It's lovely to tell people, I just smashed out 1,000k in 2 days, 20 hours, and it was amazing. But I'd rather go away and just be like, I saw camels, there was donkeys, these mountains were crazy. I just love it so much. I just love to suffer through it. I just absolutely love to ride my bike. It's just every minute on the bike is just so special. I struggle to get to sleep sometimes because I just want to keep riding because I'm just enjoying it so much. If you say to yourself, it's going to be fun, I'm going to love it, then you go there and it is fun and you do love it. If you say, it's going to hurt, it's going to be tough, then it's going to be tough and it's going to hurt. But if you go in saying, it's going to be fun, it's going to be awesome, and I'm just going to giggle the whole time, then you will. and then with that kind of attitude, you just seem to kind of float to the end. I love it to the extreme. It's really tough to finish.
I pay a lot of attention to the mental aspect, especially in ultracycling, where it's not normally, not necessarily the strongest rider who wins these races, because it's such a long distance normally. Probably more the mental prepared gets to the line first. And I like the mental approach and to dig into your mental capabilities and see how far you can go. And with no support around you, all alone, I like that. I like that idea that it's the strongest in mind and body who wins these races.
And it's when I got into cycling, it's like a different sport, different mindset, different equipments, everything. And it caught my mind actually, it caught my heart.
In the end, you cannot really plan these things. Like Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. So you take it as it goes.
There's a lot of people who aren't experienced, and experience counts at these events, even if you're not the fittest there.
I'm a working person, so my life revolves around home, work, doing my workouts, and then going back home. Everybody is telling me you are crazy to do that. In fact, when people see me go and train in Al Qudra for 4 to 5 hours, they're like, "Stop me, you're crazy. Don't you have better things to do in life?" It just gives me some sense of achievement, you know? I think every one of us, deep inside us, we look for that, you know? That difference, that unique experience that we want to go on. Even my mom, she keeps telling me, "I don't think you'll do the Corsica thing because it's crazy." For a month, I was freaking out. Every day I was thinking about it, but now that I have planned it through and I have trained well, now I'm okay with it. I don't know, there's something about cycling, you know, when you're on those two wheels, and it's just you and yourself. I see it as a me time. I spend on that bike, looking around myself and just enjoying my time. When I was riding the bike, I know it's very difficult, but then just looking at that view, in the beginning I was planning to spin my legs the entire time and not stop. But then a friend of mine told me, "Stop, man, look at the race not as if it's a suffering, not as if it's a pain phase. You're not going till Corsica to suffer. You're going there to enjoy the journey, you know? They have told you have 5 days and you have that many kilometers to complete and cover. But it's about planning, preparation, and at the same time, you need to enjoy it. Meet the people, take some selfies, look at the view, and just ensure that you're finishing the race, the 700 kilometers. So I'll do just that.
I'm tired. I'm just exhausted. Physically, mentally, pretty much empty. There's not a single part of my body that doesn't hurt or ache. Particularly my feet, hands, and my mind is just fried. But in the same time, I'm trying to gather myself for one last effort, because everything I've been through the last 36 hours counts for nothing if I don't now deliver with this one. And I went through some dark places last night. Going into the night, I started hallucinating. I started falling asleep on the bike. I quit twice, not the race, but I quit and said I'm not going to make it to checkpoint 2. Found 2 churches, both of them locked, and I was like, okay, I'll just keep going then. And it's weird. The only thing that kept me going at one point was the words, "Come on, Daddy, just keep pedaling," in my head from my little boy. Because in the mornings he says, "Come on, Daddy, let's go play." And I changed those words and I just had that on loop through my head. And I think when you go to those sort of dark places, you find an inner resolve, you find what motivates you to keep pushing. Because it would have been easy just to say, "Do you know what, I'll call it quits here for the night." But had I done that, I wouldn't have been able to execute my plan, and I wouldn't have been happy with what I've set out to achieve here. Gran always used to say that whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or it was character building. And yeah, I think when the pain has passed in a few days and I can sit and look back on this, I think I'll realise that I've grown from this. I've learnt more about myself again, and it's all a journey, it's all self-discovery. But I think it's going to take a few days for the pain to pass, because this makes a man look like a recovery ride. There's nothing about this ride that's easy. There's no single period where you can go, there's a 30k period here where I can just ease off and gather myself. It's just relentless. And then you think, okay, this climb's not so bad, and it's at like 14% or something ridiculous, and you just think, when is this ever going to stop? And I guess it will stop when I get to Bastia, and I put my bike down for a few days and just say thanks to BikingMan for another incredible experience.